Hello everyone and welcome back to the Coins Information HD channel. Today we are going to take an in-depth look at a fascinating piece of British numismatic history, the 1971 Queen Elizabeth II half new penny coin, often described as the 1/2p coin with no mint mark. This coin is closely tied to one of the most important changes in the history of British money, and while many people believe it could be worth a fortune, the real story behind its value, rarity, and place in the collector market is much more complex and interesting. To truly understand this coin, we must go back to the early 1970s, a time when the United Kingdom underwent a major transformation in its currency system. Before 1971, British money operated on a non-decimal system that had been in place for centuries. £1 was divided into 20 shillings, and each shilling was divided into 12 pence, meaning there were 240 pence in a single pound. While this system was traditional, it was complicated and increasingly impractical in a modern economy. As a result, the British government decided to introduce a decimal system, where £1 would be divided into 100 new pence. The year 1971 marked the official introduction of decimal currency, and with it came several new coins designed to help the public adapt to the new system. Among these was the half new penny coin, valued at half of 1 new penny. This small denomination was intended to ease the transition and allow for more precise pricing during the early years of decimalization. The half new penny was equal in value to 1/200th of a pound, making it one of the smallest denominations ever used in modern British currency. The 1971 half new penny was struck in bronze and is noticeably small and lightweight. It was designed to be practical, durable, and easy to recognize. On the front of the coin appears a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, showing her in the earlier years of her reign. This portrait was widely used on British coinage during this period and is instantly recognizable to collectors and historians alike. Surrounding the portrait is the inscription identifying her as Queen, which reflects the style and tradition of British royal coinage. The reverse side of the coin features a crown design, specifically St. Edward's crown, a symbol deeply rooted in British monarchy and tradition. Above the crown appears the wording new penny, and below it the denomination 1/2, clearly identifying the coin's value in the newly introduced decimal system. This design remained in use for several years and became one of the defining visual elements of early decimal coins. One important point that often causes confusion among collectors and sellers is the absence of a mint mark. The 1971 half new penny does not carry a mint mark because British coins of this era were produced by the Royal Mint without individual identifying letters. This means that every standard circulation 1971 half new penny is technically a no mint mark coin. As a result, the lack of a mint mark does not make the coin rare or special on its own, despite what some online listings may claim. When it comes to production numbers, the 1971 half new penny was minted in extraordinarily large quantities. Well over 1 billion of these coins were produced to ensure there was enough supply for everyday use across the country. Because of this massive mintage, the coin is considered very common, even decades after it was withdrawn from circulation. Large numbers of these coins survived, and many remain in collections, jars, drawers, and old wallets to this day. The concept of rarity in coin collecting is based on how many examples still exist and how difficult they are to obtain. In the case of the 1971 half new penny, the coin is not rare by numismatic standards. Even in higher grades, examples are readily available to collectors. This is an important distinction because rarity, not age alone, is what drives significant value in the coin market. Despite this, many people encounter exaggerated claims online suggesting that the 1971 half new penny is worth thousands or even tens of thousands of pounds. These claims are often based on unrealistic asking prices rather than actual completed sales. It is important to understand that the true value of a coin is determined by what buyers are willing to pay, not by what a seller hopes to receive. In circulated condition, which means the coin has been used in everyday transactions and shows visible wear. The 1971 half new penny typically holds only a small value. Such coins are often worth only a modest amount, sometimes just slightly more than their original face value when adjusted for collectability. Even in excellent circulated condition, the value remains relatively low due to the sheer number of surviving examples. Uncirculated coins, which show no signs of wear and retain their original mint luster, can be worth more, but even then the value is generally limited. Collectors may pay a few pounds for a high-quality uncirculated example, especially if it has strong eye appeal and well-preserved surfaces. However, these prices are still far from the dramatic figures often advertised in misleading listings. Proof versions of the half-new penny, which were specially struck for collectors and sold in official sets, are a different category altogether. These coins were produced with extra care and feature sharper details and mirror-like finishes. Proof coins can command higher prices, but they are not the same as standard circulation coins and should not be confused with them. Another factor that can influence value is the presence of genuine minting errors. Coins with clear and verifiable errors such as off-center strikes, missing details, or unusual metal flaws can attract collector interest and sometimes sell for higher amounts. However, such errors are uncommon, and most 1971 half-new pennies do not have any significant anomalies. Condition plays a critical role in determining value. Coins that have been cleaned, polished, or altered often lose value because collectors prefer original surfaces. Cleaning can remove fine details and damage the coin's natural appearance, making it less desirable. For this reason, it is always recommended to leave a coin in its original state. Although the half-new penny was an important part of early decimal currency, it did not remain in use for very long. Over time, inflation reduced the purchasing power of small denominations, and the coin became increasingly impractical. Eventually, the half-new penny was withdrawn from circulation and demonetized, marking the end of its role in everyday transactions. Today, it exists purely as a collectible and historical item. What makes the 1971 half-new penny truly valuable is not its monetary worth, but its historical significance. It represents a major shift in British economic history and serves as a tangible reminder of the transition to decimal currency. For many collectors, owning this coin is about preserving a piece of that history rather than seeking financial gain. The 1971 Queen Elizabeth II half-new penny with no mint mark is a common but historically important coin. It is not rare, and in most cases it is not worth a large amount of money. Its value depends heavily on condition, type, and whether it has any unique features. While it is unlikely to make anyone rich, it remains a meaningful collectible and an excellent starting point for those interested in British coinage and decimal history. If you have one of these coins, it is worth keeping as a reminder of an important moment in time. And if you enjoy learning about coins like this, be sure to support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, and sharing it with fellow collectors. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.